Next, we'll start with the new one. This one. Next topic is embedded processors and their types. Embedded processors. If you want to build embedded system, you must use processor. Okay, processor is the heart of the embedded system. You build required components around the embedded processor, around the embedded processor. Now, it is very important to know what are the varieties of processors that are available in the market for building the embedded system. Okay, it is in our Arduino we use one type of processor or microcontroller, and that is not the only embedded system that exists. Okay, we have we can build embedded systems not just with Arduino. We can use some other embedded microcontrollers, some other microcontrollers. Okay, Arduino is very popular. It is a hobby embedded processor. Okay, you can build embedded systems very easily with Arduino, but that is not the only one. Okay, there are even smaller boards or even complicated boards, complex boards. Okay, let's see what are the different processors available which may be used in the uh, building of embedded system. Now, first of all, what is the, if you ask yourself this question, what is a processor? Now, what is your answer? What is processor, or what is there in the processor? We have been studying this, we have been reading this or studying this or seeing this from our 10th standard. Okay, what is processor or what it contains? It contains these two main units. Okay, processor means it takes input data, it processes them, and it gives out the data, output data, depending on which program that is being executed in the processor. Depending on the program which is executed in the processor, input data is processed and given out. Okay, that is the functionality of the processor. To accomplish this, what must be the hardware? Means what is the hardware present in the processor? This is the hardware, main hardware. Okay, processor has two essential units: control unit, okay, execution unit. It has two main units. One is control unit, other one is execution unit, right? Control unit and the execution unit. Now, what is the use of control unit? It is used for fetching the instructions. So where those instructions are stored? In the memory. That memory is not part of the processor generally. Okay, if you buy a processor to build a computer, that processor will not contain memory which is used to store the program, big programs, right? It may have some memory, but that memory is used for storing the temporary results. They are called registers, A register, B register. I'm not talking about that memory, the memory which is used to store the program, right? So control, so processor mainly contains two parts. One is control unit, other one is execution unit. Now, what is the job of control unit? Control unit is just a combination circuit. Okay, now you can build control units, control circuits with the knowledge that we have gained in the digital electronics. What type of circuits we have studied in the digital electronics? AND gates, OR gates, these are the basic gates. By using all these gates, we build combination circuits and also sequential circuits. Okay, control unit is a combination circuit. Okay, it fetches the instructions from the memory which is outside the processor, and it decodes the instructions, and after decoding it knows what it should do. Okay, accordingly it functions. Yes or no? That is the control unit. Next one is, another important unit is execution unit. Okay, execution unit. Now in the execution unit, what happens? Execution unit is nothing but the ALU, or not only ALU, the logic part of it. Means where, because of which the instructions are executed, where the instructions are executed. Okay, after decoding, after fetching the instructions and properly decoded, decoding means by seeing the instruction, what that instruction is telling us, means if is it a move operation or add operation or subtraction operation. The move operation will be executed in the ALU, arithmetic logic unit. Okay, arithmetic logic unit. Add operation is also executed in the arithmetic logic unit. Arithmetic logic unit is nothing but the execution unit. Okay, all the instructions are executed in the execution unit. Now who is responsible for getting the instruction, fetching the instruction, and properly decoding? Okay, properly decoding. Control unit does it. Okay, does those things. Control unit fetches the instructions from memory. Let's go to the next one. Right, EU means execution unit. Execution unit includes the arithmetic and logical unit, ALU, and also the circuits that execute instructions for a program, control tasks such as interrupt or jump instructions, and so on and so on. So execution unit contains ALU plus some circuitry for jumping. Okay, some circuitry for jumping the, means sometimes you write some instructions like jump, means currently you are in the 15th let's say 15th instruction, you want to jump to 10th instruction. Okay, how that jump functions. Okay, for that you need some circuitry. That circuitry is also part of the execution unit. Execution unit is not just ALU, it contains interrupt circuitries and jump instructions, jump circuitry. Okay, a processor runs the cycles of fetch and execute instructions in the same sequence as they are fetched from the memory. Now how processor executes the instructions, in what order they are stored in the memory. Okay, accordingly it fetches those instructions and execute them one after the other. Next one, processor and types of processors. Right, we are in the same topic, we have types of processors. So far we have studied what processor is. Processor means it takes the input data, it processes it according to the program which according to the program which it is being executed in the processor. Okay, and produces output results, produces some results based on the program. Right, that's what processor is. Okay, to do all these things, processor contains execution unit and control unit. Control unit is responsible for fetching the instructions and decoding them, and execution unit does all this execution job, means it contains ALU and also interrupt circuits, jump circuits. Right, so that's what processor is. Now we'll see, this is the processor in general. Okay, although there may be variety of processors existing, all of them must have more or less the same thing. Okay, it must have the control unit, it must have what, execution unit. Okay, you cannot build processor other without these two essential components. Okay, now let's see the types of processors. Now what we think, do we think there is only one processor that can be used in the embedded systems, or we have variety of processors? We can choose out of this many depending on what type of embedded system you are building. Is it one or many processors? The answer is many processors. Now we have to choose the right processor for your application. Now let's see, it is just a study. If you know what type of process we have, then you can choose better. You can choose a better processor for your application. That is the main aim of this topic. Okay, there are simple processors and complex processors. It is not needed to use complex processors for the simple task, and for the complex tasks you cannot use simple process. It all depends on the application. It is something like if you want to carry let's say a small luggage from one place to another place, you may use a small vehicle, two-wheeler or two-wheeler, right? If you want to transport, let's say 100 bags of rice, let's say, then we have to use big vehicle, four-wheeler, right? It all depends on the task, right? In the same way, here also we have different types of processors ranging from small size to a complicated complex processor. Okay, now we are seeing the available processors. Now let's see, these are classified into, there are different types of process in the embedded system which include the following. Let's see, general purpose process. We begin with general purpose process. Now what type of process come into this category? There are 5 types of general purpose process. They are microcontroller, microprocessor, embedded processor, DSP processor, and media processor. These are all different varieties of processors, and we are giving common name for all these processors called general purpose process. We are calling all these sub varieties with the same name called general purpose process. Now we will study in the following slides. We will study each one of them in to some extent. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the next slide. So microprocessor, we have already studied what is a microprocessor. Means the general purpose processors are represented by the microprocessor in embedded systems. There are different varieties of processors available in the market from different companies. The microprocessor is also a general purpose processor that consists of control unit, ALU, and bunch of registers. Okay, registers means you have studied a microprocessor subject in the last semester. Okay, if you look at a processor block diagram, it has ALU, it also has control unit. Other than these two, we also have registers. Okay, registers, yes or no, to store the temporary data, right? We have different varieties of registers. We also talk about registers in this course also. There we talk about registers in a great detail. Now register means it is a it is used to store data. Okay, there are different types of data, later we will see it. Okay, on control registers, status registers, this register and that register, later we will see it. Next, and there may be on-chip memory and some interfaces for communicating with external world like interrupt lines, other lines for the memory, and ports for communicating with the external world. The ports often called programmable ports. That means we can program these ports either to be acting as input and output. Some processors, not in general, okay, these microprocessors may contain, not the case always. Okay, they also contain necessary circuitry for ports. Okay, ports, general purpose input output ports, means the same wire can be used as input port, the same wire can be used as output port. It is programmable in the sense the same pin can be used either as input port or output port. Okay, it depends, it is not fixed. That particular pin is not fixed as input port or output port. You can use it in both ways. Okay, for that you have to program it means there will be some registers in the processor. You go to that register, somewhere in that register you have to write 1. If you write 1, then it behaves like a output pin. If write 0, then it behaves as it is a input pin, like that. We will see all this general purpose input outputs later in the second unit. Okay, in the programming second unit. Okay, next, microcontroller. Now what is this microcontroller? Microcontroller means processor contains only this much. Processor contains ALU, control unit, and registers. Processor doesn't contain anything other than this. Whereas microcontroller is like a small computer. Okay, If you want to build a computer, you have to buy a processor, you have to buy memory, you have to buy clock generation circuit, you have to buy timers, you have to buy, and many things. Okay. Now, if you assemble them correctly, then that becomes a computer. Whereas microcontroller, all these peripherals, these are called peripherals. Timer is one peripheral, interrupt is another peripheral, GPIO is another peripheral, and so on, so on. Clock is another peripheral. These are all peripherals. Okay. If you have all these peripherals within the same IC, then it is called microcontroller. Microcontroller, you may think as a small computer. Okay. Microcontroller is a small computer, but the peripherals, they are not very powerful. They are not that capable. Means in the big computer, in our laptop computer or desktop computer, we have a large memory. Okay. Maybe 4 GB memory, RAM, this and that. Okay. 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM or 16 GB RAM. It has a high frequency clock circuit. Okay. And there are so many registers, so many timers, maybe 5 timers or 10 timers. Okay. That many timers may not be there in the microcontroller. It may have 2 timers or 4 timers. Okay. Right. So we have all the peripherals present in the computer, but their capabilities are limited. That is the only difference between microcontroller and general purpose computer. We have all the peripherals present in the microcontroller, but they are limited in capability. They are limited, means maybe in size and also in performance. Okay. So that's what a microcontroller is. So microcontroller is equal to a microprocessor or a processor plus all the peripherals needed to build a small embedded system. Okay. To build a more medium or moderate embedded system, or in or even the complex embedded system. All the peripherals, you don't need to install or explicitly add any peripherals. Okay. All the necessary peripherals are integrated